Hi, and welcome to this new Rushort 11 tutorial. Today, we are going to show you how to set up a triathlon. So in our brochure, we show you two examples of a triathlon event. First one using the active system with two loop boxes at the transition area and one main system at the finish line, receiving the repeated passings from the loop box and recording the finish times. All this, of course, with the Active Pro transponder. And the other example shows you the passive system being used with Rushort UTAG transponders. And the main difference is that there's a check-in system at the start of the swim so that the organizer knows who's still swimming, okay? But the basic setup is quite the same with transition in, transition out after the swim and after the bike, and then a finish system. So now we are going to show you how to set this up. So what we want to achieve is to publish results live during the event. So let's have a look at our results on myrushort.com. So here we have all our participants grouped by their last split. So here we see all the participants who are finished. And then if we scroll down, we see the participants. We have to scroll a bit more. Here we can see participants who just got out of transition 2. Okay. What we want to do as well is to enable followers to just look for a bib number. Okay, let's look for bib 1092. That's our Daniel Martin. Okay, and if I just want to follow this participant, I can click here, make him a favorite. And then if I want to show only the favorites, I will have access to Daniel Martin. Then when he is at the finish line, I will see his last split update and then his position on the new split and the gap time there. Okay. Then what we also want is to publish final results. Okay, so here I have my final results with all the times. The swim time, the transition 1, the bike transition 2 run time, and then the final time. Okay, and if I click on a participant, I want to show his detailed results. So here, Andrew Curl took 23 minutes 56 to swim, and he's got the 169th swim time. Okay, we have the split times for transition 1, bike, transition 2 and run, and the position on that leg. Okay, and then we also have the live position after each leg and the places lost or gained after one leg. Okay, each participant can also download their certificates by clicking the link in the detailed results. So now we know what we want to do. Let's see how we are going to do it. So I set up a triathlon event basically on the standard triathlon template in Rushort 11, but then I added some things. Okay, let's go to main window. So that's our event. There's two contests, Sprint and Olympic. And let's go straight to the results. Okay, so here are the times that are recorded by the systems. The first is the swim check-in. So that's our system that tells us who is in the water, who entered the water. Then here we record the time at the end of the swim, the time after transition 1, the time of day after the bike, time of day after transition 2, and time of day on the finish line. Okay, so after the run. From these times, I calculate, of course, by finish time, and then my swim, transition 1, bike, and transition 2, and run split. And I also have results that correspond to the net time after each leg, and these we are going to use to create the ranks for the live result list. Okay. Then we have two results that we will also use to know where the participant was detected last. So last split ID with format S returns the ID of the last detection, that is, so that will be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15, depending on where the participant was detected last. So what it does, it scans this result and it says, okay, number 13 is the last stored time of this participant. Okay, and then last split is the result that will in fact be stored, so that corresponds to this last split ID. Okay. In addition to these, so I want to know where my participant was detected last, and then I want to give that last split a name. So here we could use T last name as a formula, but then it would return this, and it's not so nice. Okay, because maybe one split can be can have a different name depending on the contest, or maybe I want to translate it. So what I do is I create a user-defined field, which I call last split name. Okay, so last split name takes the last split ID as an index using the choose function, and then we deduce 9, so that the first possible value swim check-in with ID 10 is actually number 1 in our index, and then I just write swim check-in, swim finish, bike start, bike finish, run start, run finish as the names for all these results. Okay. Here I created an additional position of status function that I will use in the statistics to let the organizer know in real time how many participants are still swimming, how many are still cycling, and how many are on the run course. Okay, so it functions, it works on the same principles but instead here we just give the last split if the participant have a regular status, and if they gave up or if they didn't show up, then we will show their status. Okay, let's see how this looks in the output window. So let's have a look at our live window. So here, as you see, I group participant by contest name, and then I order them by last split ID, descending, so that the participants that are at the farthest in the triathlon contest will show up on top. Then I group them by last split name, and then I order them by their last split time. Okay, so let's have a look at the list just for the sprint distance. So here we have all our participants that are finished, and let's have a look at these here. So for example, you see here that Tim Loft is still at the run start. Then if I go to Tim Loft, and add him a finish time. He's on the sprint, so he will run in 20 minutes. So 11, 13, 32. Okay. So Team Loft is here at the run start. And then if I refresh the page, here's my Team Loft, and he's now a finisher. Okay. Now, let's have a quick look at my details list. So this is the list that we display in myresult.com. So here you see it for all the participants, but actually what myresult.com does is when you click on a participant, it only shows his or her data. Okay. And the headers in the list are actually not quite headers, they are plain text that we add as data field. Okay, I forgot to show you something as well. In the results window, to calculate the places gained and lost, I need to add these results that calculate the difference, for example, in transition 1, for the places lost in transition 1, I will calculate the difference between rank 10 and rank 9, but I will only calculate it if both are have a value. Okay, then here I type +S as format so that it's also displayed if it's negative. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you is our statistics list that shows the participants sorted by their last split or by their status if they are out of the race. Okay, so now if I click the settings, here I have the contest name as the row, and I have my position or status user-defined function as the column. Okay, let's have a look at what it says. So here on the sprint, one participant is still swimming, so we should probably try and find out what happened to him because he checked in and he never got out of the water. It's a bit worrying, so we have to make sure that he's all right. Still have a participant here in T1, 1 on the bike, 2 in T2, 3 on the run. I have 514 finishers, and then 24 people who gave up, 32 who didn't start, and no disqualified. Okay, so if I have that many finishers and those people are still here, they are probably DNF, and I don't know it yet, but for safety's sake, I will just try and find out. So that if I do my job correctly, in the end I should have no one there and just everyone as finishers or with in one of these status columns. All right, that was it. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more racial tutorials.